My name's Ricardo, obviously. I started working here at Gordy's probably when I was 15 years old. And I started as a busser, and then a year or two later I was an expediter, and then I became a server. Went off to college, moved to Milwaukee, got a couple of restaurant jobs there. That's why I started bartending in Milwaukee at this place called The View. Then I came back with a year of experience, 2 years of experience. So I bartended here last summer. A lot of fun. So, this place gets pretty busy during the summer because it's right next to the lake, and it's not really like a 5-star dining. So, on the weekends you don't really get to hear people's stories because it's so busy. But like on a Tuesday morning, they'll have people who come in, and you'll just talk to them. During the summer, actually, I heard most people, what we were talking about is sports, and a lot about the Bucks because the Bucks were doing good. Hashtag Bucks and Six. Obviously, the best part of my job is the money because here you make good money. And obviously the managers, like my manager Robin, she's the best. Just the people you work with, because it's kind of like a family here, and it's awesome. And you get a lot of good customers, a lot of regulars that live by the lake, and they come and they're really nice, and you get to know each other by a first name basis. And eventually they had nicknames for me, and it was fun. They always came, and a lot of people would request me personally, and sometimes they request another bartender personally. So it was just nice building relationships and just having a good time. And it's a restaurant next to the lake. It's a good environment. It's just fun. It's fun to work here in the summers. But there was this one guy who came in with his son, and these guys were both big guys, and they just came out. I think they were celebrating because they had just gotten this really nice car or whatever. So they came in, sat down. We're having they stayed here for hours. They were having a ton of beers, and then they were talking. Then they started talking about the owners, and they knew the owners personally. And then they started talking bad about them and my bosses and how they were gonna buy the place and such. And then they started to boss me around. And it started getting really annoying. So then I got a complaint from the manager. The shift manager came to me, and she's like, "You got to cut those guys off because, this place is usually full of college kids and high school kids during the summer that work here, and the host usually 16, 17 years old." And the manager told me he made one of the hosts feel uncomfortable. So then I went up to the guy, and I took his beer, and then he grabbed my hand, and he's like, "Whoa, what do you think you're doing?" And I was like, "You can't drink anymore. You're cut off. You got to go." And then this guy was just we were just kind of going back and forth for 10 minutes, and he grabs my arm, and he looks me dead in the eyes, and he's like, "I hope you know that I'm going to be your boss in 2 years. I'm going to buy this place." And I was like, "I'm not going to be here in 2 years, but okay, that sounds like fun." And then they just stormed out. I don't even know if they paid, honestly, but it was. Overall, I'd say that working in a restaurant since I was 15, 7, going on 8 years now, has really benefited me, has really helped me. And especially at the bar. First of all, you learn a lot about customer service and why you should treat people well when you go out, not just in restaurants, but in retail and everything. People are there to do a job, and they're there to help you, and that's one of the biggest things I got out of it. And then from being a bartender, from the few days a week that I got to talk to people, as a bartender, you talk a lot more personal, you get more personal with the customers than you do as a server. So you kind of are sometimes people's therapist, and they talk to you about their stories, they talk to you about their families, even if you never see them again. That's kind of the environment that there is with a bartender, and I feel like sometimes people did see oh, he's a young guy. So, but for the most part, people did tell me a lot of things, and you get to know people's stories. And then since I was young, they tell me you're a young kid, let me give you some advice. So I always got really good advice, and I learned a lot.